The Layla Show. Welcome to another week of The Layla Show, where we build a conscious community one conversation at a time. With your host, me, Layla Ziari, coming at you with weekly episodes every Friday featuring guests from all over the world and so many different industries, sharing their stories, experience, tales, laughing, loving, and just vibing out. The Layla Show.
Well, welcome to the fucking show. I'm just gonna start. I don't give a shit. I don't like
That's right, Layla. I like your attitude. I like how you operate.
Welcome the fuck back. I'm not even gonna
Thank you for having me.
I could do an intro. I don't even think I do introductions on this podcast anymore. This is the Layla Show, and this is Nick, and he wrote a dope ass book in the fucking beginning, and we're gonna talk about the principles of that in all of life. I mean, truly. Your videos blow my mind always. I just think you're one of the most entertaining, one of the more entertaining people on social media at this point.
Oh, thank you. Well, I know it's funny. I think we talked a little bit about it the last time, because obviously I'm extremely goofy and making a fool of myself, whatever.
Which we love. It's self-deprecating humor and also being authentic. It's being authentic, though. It's being
all right. It's who I am. I don't mind being self-deprecating, but it doesn't match the book. And so people I've had a few people that were like, oh, I had to get your book after I saw your Spice Girl dance, and then I read the book, and they were like, look, I wasn't expecting it to be this hardcore. You're really talking about something. I'm like, I know it doesn't really match the marketing that I'm doing, but I'm like, I don't know what else to do. So it's kind of funny.
I think you're doing a good job, though, because the book is serious. I almost, say I'm moving. I had it. I packed your book 2 days ago because I packed all my books, but I was like, shit, I should. But, Nick, I didn't have to pack. I have till November 3rd to get out of here.
Oh.
I don't care. I packed the books the other day, but I was like, I touched it in the beginning, and I was like, I'm just going to show it. But I've read it. It's great, but, it's so different. But I feel like I get that, but it's also yes, you're saying something, but then there's the marketing should be authentically you, and we all have so many sides. I am honestly, I think I like to portray myself as some fucking siren, fucking succubus because people scare me, but then in reality, I'm the softest, but also angstiest, and I could. You could peg me as a demonic fucking succubus or the goofiest, softest kitten in the world. We all have sides, so I feel you know what I mean.
I feel you have though. That's how I like that you're open about your sides like that. It's you've got a lot of passion, but you're also a gentle, kind soul like that. You're like a fairy,
lovely fucking fairy at the end of the day who wants to be loved. But this world has made me a little cold. I would say something today. I was the fear of God, and I was or the fear of Satan. And I was honestly, I fear Satan less than God, and I don't know what that says about me anymore. But, I like dark things a little bit, but I'm also super light. I'm super light. I'm super cuddly. I'm the most loving person you'll ever meet. 99.9% of people won't see that, but that's what I mean with you. It's you wrote this deep, introspective, book, but you're also I'm also really goofy though.
I'm glad you're open about it, and I like what you said too. Is that especially the state of the world today? It makes you angry and it makes you very. You get so upset and that you feel a little aggressive, and maybe not aggressive towards others, but you just feel. I guess the better word is angry and upset. So I feel the same as you. I get so upset in just in my day-to-day life, and even now with everything going on, I'm come on, you just want a better society, which is why I wrote this book from the start, was to I want people to unite. And it's so difficult these days to unite with people. Everyone's doesn't, like we were saying, people don't believe in equality. People don't support it, and that's my whole push with people accepting this book, and what accepting that we should unite and support equality in order to achieve world peace. And that's why I push it so hard. So I'm look, this has to change. And it's, how it is today. It's so hard to get people on the same page, but I do like breaking it down. If if you support human equality, you support a number of different things. And, I know you and I are on the same page with what we support. And like, if you don't support that, you don't support human equality. And
Don't.
and if you don't, then you need to change now, evolve. That's it.
You have to evolve. And I just I don't know, and I will like to say a lot of I'm an Aquarius rising, and I feel like I look at things but I have a lot of heart, but I think I look at the general state of humanity from a very Aquarian perspective when I say this, because it's fucked up now, but it's been fucked up always.
Forever.
We're not new. We're not special, but it's look at how it panned out from every other society, and right now I do appreciate, as much as I scorn the goddamn earth I live on and be could I have lived in the jazz era? Could I have been a rapper, bitch? I hate this era we have, but I'm grateful because I feel it's just so in our face, and it's so forcing us to evolve or die. And I think it's the dramatic chaos of right now, because it's honestly and it is, and I'm not a political person at all, but it's so clear, and especially what's going on with this, it's you have someone who is clearly just bringing out the racism, the division in a way that I don't think, before it was presidents are just pawns in the game. We get that. Agreed. But it's before, I feel the agenda of racism and inequality was more shunned. Now it's so out in the open. And we're realizing that our country is majority separatist, division, hate.
Yeah, that's what this has shown us. It's shown us how many of them are out there. They're there's racists and misogynists. I mean, it usually goes hand in hand. They're everywhere.
The problem is of how comfortable we are being my mom was saying, well, Reagan wasn't any better and Nixon wasn't any better. It was but it was a classier time where it was the agenda wasn't as loud, which
it wasn't as loud. Now it's
loud, which is also just I'm grateful for that in a sense, just because it's pushing us to evolve that much further. You know what I mean? True. It's here it is in your fucking face.
It's here all around us. And you said it well, back then it was there, but it was 100%. It was leaders were a little more dignified in how they presented themselves. And now we have the most undignified person ever that is running for president again. And what people don't realize is a president is the same as a CEO of a company, and it knows, and we're basically the board of directors electing the CEO. Yeah. And no company on planet Earth would hire someone that behaves in such an undignified and unprofessional manner.
No, 100%.
It's based on professionalism and dignity. You can't have someone.
It's so unprofessional, but it's but then you break it down. It's look at who supports them, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. These people run the fucking. You understand that they run, because the president doesn't run the world. Elon Musk runs the world way more than President Trump ever will. And it's it's just the expose, look what just happened with Diddy. And I'm not, I said, I'm not a pop culture girly. I watch vintage movies, but it's just that shit that's been going on since the dawn of this civilization is being brought to a light right now in a way that I think from my Aquarian mind is very good. Right. It's very good that it's being brought to this light. Because before you couldn't touch Hollywood, you couldn't touch billionaires, you couldn't touch successful fucking people because their money would back it up, and somebody was crooked as fuck enough to cover it up. Still, I love the mafia still, so let's take them out of that, because bring back the mob, bang bang, shoot them up, bitch. I like that because they respected their family. You know what? But right now it's but we have our culture is ruled by Hollywood and Elon Musk and Amazon. It is what it is. The billionaires, the 1% control the entire fucking planet, and they stand for nothing good. They stand for their pockets getting richer, you going to the slaughterhouse, and you being fucked out of civilization. And the fact is, it's just so maddening, because there's so much more of us than them that none of us give a fuck enough, because they made us so poor and so strapped for our pennies that we genuinely can't care. Even me, as much as I care, most of the time I'm well, I gotta pay my bills, so let me just work my job today. do my podcast, and then disassociate. Like,
I know, because what else can you do? You've got bills to pay. Like, you're not independently wealthy. Like, I gotta go to work. I gotta eat. Pay the bill.
Exactly.
And it makes you just unfortunately, it makes us a little not short-sighted, but we can only focus on the here and now, which is getting a paycheck. We don't have
and getting by, and like even like I still to this day haven't worked for somebody else since I was 16 years old.
Oh, good for you. There's nothing worse.
I am an independent party. I've traveled the world. I've moved to other countries, but like I think even that has made me colder, because especially when I went to another country, like nobody had my back, and it's like it only made me more out for myself. And it's like the older you get, like in my 20s, I was very cool with traveling and giving my all, but it's like now I'm very like nobody takes care of me, so fuck you all. So even if you don't like work in the system, we're all like fuck you, it's about me.
No, you're saying it perfectly. At least in this day and age, what's good is that we do have the tech. I mean, there's a lot of bad things about social media, but the good thing is that no one can get away with anything now. Now we can see everything. And so all these bad guys are just coming to light. And if you are supporting Trump, you obviously are a bad person. And now everybody knows who supports everybody. Like all these guys that are supporting him, like, you're a misogynist. There's no way you think that person can't be good at what they do because of how they behave. And they act the same way.
So with no tact.
Not at all. And like all you have to break it down to is a successful leader unites, an unsuccessful leader divides.
And I just feel like it's not about Democratic or Republican at this point. Like, and I know so many people like who aren't political like myself, and I think this is a problem, who don't pay attention to. I know like a lot of my friends make a lot of money on like commission and stuff, and they're like, well, I support Trump because he's not going to tax me. And it's like, without seeing that but like I don't even support Kamala either. Like I do over the two, but I don't support political parties. I just feel like we're at a desperate point in humanity where it's like we can't let that be like, because I don't want to live, like, you know what I mean? It's like the last president I liked is JFK, R.I.P. Big boy.
There you go.
But like, and I don't hate Kamala, but like I hate Donald Trump, you know what I mean? But I also don't believe Kamala's gonna fix anything.
No, not gonna fix anything. It's one or the other. We have short term. We have two discussions: a short term discussion, and a long term. The short term discussion is one or the other. Obviously,
short term is get him the fuck out of the precipice, because it's just the allowance of that behavior is going to create so much more division for our population. Exactly. When we start accepting the fact that women don't have rights, when we start accepting the fact that Black people don't have rights, it's like, well, we just created more division than we had before, and that's been the problem since the Roman Colosseum.
It has been. It's like a disgusting history of humanity, a repetitive cycle since the dawn of time. There's always been slavery. There's always been a non-equality in genders. I mean, always. And it's just like, it feels like people like you and myself and most good people, actually all good people, don't want that. No one cares. We just want to all be equal and just live a somewhat comfortable life and not be taxed with war and everything else these politicians are spending on. Politicians are just unqualified salespeople. That's all they are.
Exactly. I'm an anarchist through and through.
Yeah, like we need one unified global world that is absent of war. And that's
exactly. And I just like, I don't know how that's, but do you really like, as much as I want to say I see that, I don't see it. I honestly see the demise of our civilization.
It looks bleak. It does. And it's like,
not looking good, Nick.
Well, I mean, a lot of it too. And I know I respect your beliefs, obviously, but a lot of it comes back to religious beliefs, and I might say religion. Let's say that your big five, big religions. That's all.
At this point, I'm hail Satan or die.
Yeah, I mean, if you're religious, they all gods support inequalities. They don't support human equality because they allow us to suffer. If everyone got on the same page and said, oh, my God that I worship shouldn't be worshipped because they allow innocent life to suffer, which means human equality doesn't exist. If everyone agreed with that, if everyone supported human equality, we could unite. But until everyone does, there will never be world peace. And that's the big picture problem.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like Gaza's fighting over religion. Like we've always been fighting. It just frustrates me as a person, as I'm sure it does you and everybody else, that like, how are we? Okay, I read a quote the other day and it's like, why do I believe humanity can still change? Because I did. And it's like, if
Sure,
I
that's a
can,
good point.
I mean, and like, yes, was my family like the worst? No, I grew up in a relatively good family, but I have endured so much abuse. I've been raped, I've been abused, I've gone through the ringer, I've gone through like all of these things that people don't get over. And I've been like, all right, let's build something better. So it's like, no, I haven't had the worst of the worst life, but I have been through fucking hell and back. I've experienced things that nobody should. I've been kidnapped. I've been, like just horrible fucking things that I put myself through, granted. But like, if someone like me or anybody can get over that shit, like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like,
Yeah.
there is no excuse at this point not to evolve. You can all blame your mother, blame your father, blame your sister, blame your abuser, whatever the fuck you want to do. There is absolutely no excuse not to be better.
I agree. You have to evolve. And look, I got to tell you, you're a very brave individual for saying all those things that you've been through, Layla. This may be a very bold thing to say, but anyone who assaults someone sexually, I think, should be executed.
I agree.
I'm so sorry, Layla. I am so sorry.
And it's like, and honestly, I can sit here and say it's okay because I don't know, I've detached from that so much, and like, it's just like, I don't know, but it also makes me cold, I think, a little bit. And I think a lot of my mentality is cold at this point. Like, I'm a loving person, but I can only handle so much. Honestly, I see myself slipping into the other side of fuck humanity, and that scares me a little bit too, but it's like, and it's not. I really love humanity and I do believe in it, but I'm just like, it does. It puts you in a place where it's like, it's me against the fucking world because nobody's going to be there for me. No one's, other than my mother. Shout out, mama. Love you, bitch. She's been there through me through all of it. I have stolen money from her. I've put her through the ringer. I think she told me, she reminded me, she's like, when you were 17, you put a knife to my throat. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? But like, that bitch has ride or died for me. So if there's any loyalty I know in this world, it's my goddamn mother. But it's like, but that does, it's like, and I do feel like so many people like me who live an alternative lifestyle. I've never, like I told you, I haven't worked for anyone else since I was like 16 years old. I've been doing this on my own. I've hustled to get by. I've put myself in situations where people can take care of me in certain ways and this or that, like, because I don't want to be part of that. And I do feel like, I don't know, but it's the same, just because even if you have a corporate job, no matter what, it's like whatever you have to do, it's like survival is you and you. Most of us aren't lucky enough to have anyone who cares about us enough. And that's the problem. We don't care enough. And that's the problem. And that's the beautiful thing about hurricanes and like natural disasters is people start to care again. As much as I hate that everyone's like dying and losing their homes, that's when you actually see humanity thrive, though.
Yeah, when people come together because no one can help this natural item that's going on, then you see people banding together. But otherwise, like it is today, we're just separated. And a lot of the problem, look, is men. Men are a huge problem across the world, and I think you've seen I've done a few posts about this. Is like, I'm a big believer in the female lead. But let me rephrase that. I'm a big believer in any lead that isn't that of the straight man. Like,
well, females are supposed to lead.
I agree, and that's I take that from my own wife. I took her lead, and I didn't always when we were first together when we were younger. She taught. The more kindness, the more love I showed her, the more encouraged I was to her. The more confidence she got, and just kind of led us in the right direction. And now I just feel like it's the right path. I feel like females have a much
heart.
It's a bigger picture.
You warm my cold dead heart.
Females can see the bigger picture of way life should be, and that's why I'm so excited for Kamala. Is that
yeah, I just think like a woman
finally It's
Yeah.
not in the United States to have a female leader. Imagine if every country every country on planet Earth, every male leader stepped down and was replaced with a female. It would
be so much better. Okay, well, thank you for actually just bringing that up because it makes me do care about this election. I keep saying, like, I don't give a shit. It's just another election. But it is important to have, because, like, think about it. Break it down. Men rule by ego, greed, narcissism, whatever.
Arrogance,
whatever. True. Women lead by their heart and intuition and their gut. Women lead off of feelings. And yes, some women, sometimes we can get too wrapped up in feelings and there needs to be some logic. But, there's enough logic. I have plenty, as a woman who has no man, may be single forever, because at this point I would need someone to really, like, I don't know. I don't want to be alone forever, but I feel like I might be, just because, like,
the man, you have to be with the man is very tough for a female. Is this man going to appreciate me and be empathetic? And
then also, like, there's the empathy, there's the understanding, there's the laying down by my sword, but then not being a little bitch, because, like, when I meet someone who's really willing to, like, per se worship, then they're not like, I need a man's man, like a masculine. If the apocalypse comes, honey, you're hunting me a fucking deer, bitch.
And that's a great point. It's like, men are very good. There's always exceptions, but men are very good at operations. Sending a man out to do what you just said, gather wood. Not that a female couldn't do that. A female could do that very easily.
I want to.
Exactly, and you shouldn't have to. I don't think.
I shouldn't have to. If I wanted to do that, if I can do it all, honey. We don't need your race anymore. But that's not fun. We need you. We still need you. We still need you.
Very well said. Well said. Yeah, and let the big picture decisions, let the leadership go away from men. Bring Kamala into the situation, and you've got a new frame of mind for the United States finally, and hopefully it can be a model for other nations. It would be beautiful to see a world run by females, and just see. It'd probably be an end of war. I
don't know. That's bold. If we all had them.
Exactly.
The end of war is going to take a lot.
Every man stepping down would be a.
And I can't say this. I can't say what I really feel on my podcast, because if we just slaughtered all the billionaires, I'm sorry.
It's like,
but like, even my mentality of how to make it better involves murder. Like, how is that right? Like, how am I okay with, like, the world has pushed us to a point where it's like, it's near you, bitch.
I know, but people that you either evolve into an empathetic person, or you should not be able to be allowed on planet. If you don't support human equality, you should live on Mars, and that's it.
You deserve this planet. So fucking go. Go.
Leave Earth
there and stop destroying the planet I fucking like, because I don't want to go to space. I don't want to be an astronaut. And I don't want to fucking leave.
Oh, I love Earth. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful place.
It's fucking gorgeous. It's phenomenal. I love this planet. I don't, like, fucking go with your rocket ships and your big dick fucking rockets. Like, please fucking leave.
I love it when they were all getting their rocket ships. It's just like this giant penis game. They're playing with each other.
Like,
what's your guys' deal? Like, just take it easy, okay?
It's just like the insecurity, and it's just like, and it's just like, male, like you said, like, the male lead is like engineered by, but they're also insecure because honestly, an awakened masculine is compassionate. He's kind. He's loving. He knows when to step the fuck down. It's like, this world is ruled just by, like, but I could say the same thing. If toxic femininity was in charge, it would be no better.
True, but there's a lot less females that are like men. I mean, the majority of females, if loved and shown kindness and appreciation, will be able to lead very, very well.
They would do better, but there's also the trip about power. Power is an ugly thing, and it corrupts people.
It does.
So it's like, I would love to say, like, if we started this, like, okay, maybe as of right now, as we started again, but if we had done this again from in the beginning, like your book, if we had done this again, like, say we just rewrote history right now, and instead of males leading, women lead, I think we'd be in the same place right now.
I think it'd be. I think
men would be slaves on a fucking spaceship. I think office politics would be like, you eat my pussy or die, because they just feel like toxic power.
Power.
You know what I mean? I just feel like, and I feel like it's a casualty of like what happened with existence. I just feel like power, you have to, it's about awakening so much more than what, like, yes, right now women should be in power, but it's so much more about awakening your soul than any of it. Because again, an awakened masculine would not, it's about like, if you don't evolve your soul, you're going to take power to your head and be just as fucking bad. Either way, because like, I mean, look at me. When I feel threatened, I will eat you a fucking alive. I will kill any motherfucker.
There's nothing wrong with that. I like that trait. That's a good trait to have, actually.
I know, but that's also like, that's not natural to me. That is my response to trauma. That is my response to the system.
Yeah, you're all right.
Like, yes, will I be a little domineering even when everything is sunshine and rainbows? Probably. I'm a strongest bitch, but I do think a lot of my responses of how I feel right now is just because of the threat of like an unawakened society in general.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's a good way to put it. The people that are putting people in power are the wrong people. Like the wrong people are making those decisions, but the right people have to be putting the other people into those places of responsibility. And I think we said it. We may have said it last time too. Anyone that it's from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Anyone that wants power shouldn't be allowed to have it.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, and
exactly.
People that are, it should just be
give it to the peasants.
A massive board around the world of people like yourself, people like your mom, people that like my wife and I that are making the decisions to put someone in a position of responsibility, not power. You know, and it should be
responsibility. Exactly. Because like the power trip, it's just like it is. It's like like I said, I just want to say like, yeah, women, but like, no, it's power. Power is corrupting. Power is evil. That greed, that ego. Yeah. It's like your ego has to undergo something, regardless if you're man, female, woman, child, fucking alien. I don't give a shit. It's like your ego has to go through something. You have to have empathy. And there are so many women who don't have empathy as well as men. And like, as much as I want to diss toxic masculinity as much as you do, I just want to put that in perspective for my listeners as well, that I'm not anti-men. Like, I'm anti-establishment. I'm anti-power. I'm anti-fucking greed. I'm anti-fucking your ego being bigger than Texas. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, the next president, like, could be Bernie Sanders was a great guy. He's a man. Like, go Bernie. Like, go JFK, who wanted to expose our society. Not all, like, you know what I mean? Not all men in power do bad.
Yeah, you're right. Not, yeah, if there's exceptions, obviously. Yeah. But you should be, if you were given an opportunity to be the president of the United States, you would make a great president.
I wouldn't take it. I don't want that.
But you would do it well, just because of how you think. And someone like you.
How overwhelmed would I be though? I would.
You would be fine. The fact that you would, please, you would be just fine. You'd be able to make big picture, good decisions about a unified society.
The first thing I would do is eradicate everything. Okay, hold on. Yeah. All right. I just grab more wine.
You would be the one making decisions. Okay. Either you believe in human equality or you don't. Oh, you don't? Okay.
But then I'd probably start slaughtering people. Does that make me better?
Oh, we'll put them on the.
I'll put them on. You know what I'd do? I'd send them to the Epstein Island.
Oh, there we go. Or like a cruise ship island. There's just in the middle of the ocean.
They can go to Epstein's land though, because I heard that shit has real toxic, evil energy. So like, you suck that up, bitch.
Yeah. If anyone
like, do you hear it? Like, oh. Yes, it would be better, but do you hear that too? It's like, yeah, if you don't fit in with my policies, you're going to be...
Well, you would just say, look, either you accept human equality or you go to this island. And if you want to change, you can come back. But you have to say, okay,
I would reform schools. But like, one of the first things I would actually do is like reorganize the education system in general.
Oh, sure. That'd be.
I think just because, like, I feel like I'm 31. I know I'm young, but I feel like our generation is so damned already. I think I'd start with the children. I think I would have to just because, like, you know what, like those boomers, the people who don't get it right now. I wouldn't focus most of my attention on that. I would focus more on like. And I was going to say just building spiritual churches, but that's culty too. I think I would focus. The first thing I would do is teach like actual culture and education, teach
there you go.
homemaking, teach taxes, teach bills, do like yoga for instead of homeroom, have yoga, have the school day be like 4 hours a day, have it be optional, but make sure you learn the basic skills. Like I think that is honestly where I would start just because like we're not the future. I know you and I are still kind of in the future. We're not old yet, but it's like they are the future and we're teaching them TikTok. And that's
exactly. See, you're already making great decisions right now, Layla. Look at this. You just made an amazing decision. Boom. At this very moment. You see? It's you. It's you and people that are like us that support equality. You know?
I know it really is.
Either you do or you don't. If you don't, you don't belong on planet Earth.
You don't belong on planet Earth, but like it is so messy, and I think I was just trying to highlight that, like, just because like I want to, like, I always like to play devil's advocate a little bit. I don't like to like I'm a very person who like I have my opinions, but my opinions are very flexible and they're very changing, and like
of course
and of course I don't support Trump, but like I also don't like to take sides so much. I kind of like to see it from all perspectives, and it's like whatever it is, it's going to be so difficult for somebody to tackle it, but not that hard because I just took 1 second and fixed something. But it's like, regardless, whoever, like whatever energy comes in next, like we've created a mess that's going to take decades to
fix. It's not an easy fix. Everyone wants a short-term easy fix. Like nothing's going to solve nothing. This is generations, hundreds of years, but we have to do it now. Thousands of years. You're right.
Since the dawning of civilization, which
you're right. You yes. I mean, like
bring it back to your book. Like we were born wrong. Human beings were born wrong.
That's what I talk about. Is like, look, slavery started thousands of years ago, and it just continued and continued, and war just continued and continued, and we're all just still fighting and doing exactly the same thing, and nothing has changed.
The same thing. History doesn't repeat itself. Yeah, the fuck it does. But I do think that's so important. Like, especially like I don't know who listens to my podcast, but like if there's young kids, it's like we need to know that like just because we feel like we're evolved now, like no, like this goes back to human beings, like from even biblical terms, Adam and Eve, you killed Lilith. You two happy answers. You were like, fuck that bitch, damning her to hell. And that's why I'm like, hail Satan. But like, no, because like, I don't actually want to conjure
The Layla Show.